yeah.
Well, we're just going to hop into the draft, because apparently Bruno's not going to let me say a word. All right, so...
Oh, wow.
It's game 1 of a best of 3.
They gave it to him.
No junglers allowed.
They give away the Wisp, but they ban out both junglers early. Now, Secret, what have they been running? Lycan's out there, Shadow Fiend's out there. Probably going to take one of those in the first 2 if they go with their standard strategy, but they might have something special prepared just for the Wisp.
Just for Cloud9.
just for Eternal Envy. Arteezy's got
We
something.
haven't even talked about, we talked about it a bit, the storylines here. I mean, we have, obviously, the friendship, quote-unquote friendship between Arteezy and Eternal Envy. But I think more importantly and more interestingly is Big Daddy No Tail getting kicked to some degree off of Team Secret because of the package deal of Zai and Arteezy.
They didn't kick him, they showed him the door.
It's like, here's the door. What do you want to do now?
Well, if he didn't walk out the door, they would have kicked him.
Yeah.
So it's.
I mean, it ended up being mutual, but I think
we're gonna give you the gun. You can either shoot yourself, or we'll take it off of your hand. So. Okay, they go for like an X. Now, a ton of physical damage against a Wisp. This hero does not typically do very well against pushing directly. More a hero that wants to find pick-off, split push, prevent Secret from grouping up. And they just go for the Tiny. So I think Secret have pretty good tools against the Tiny Wisp. Tanky heroes, long duration lockdown, even through BKB. But so many times in the past, I have seen Big Daddy on his Wisp, playing for Secret in particular, where it's like, okay, they have tools, they can deal with Wisp, and then it's like, oh wait, it's a Big Daddy Wisp, and he just makes the plays. Now, the big burning question is, can Cloud9 play the Wisp at that level that Secret had? They had like a mind meld between him and Curl.
I feel like they played it really well, minus the one game that everybody's focusing on, and you're right, it's not as
that game was
consistent.
Pretty ugly though.
It wasn't as bad as the MMY Wisp though.
Cloud9 has a negative score this tournament with Wisp. They're 2-3. I think that's one of the reasons why maybe Puppy said you can take the hero. The thing about Wisp Tiny is, of course, that you can't allow yourself a mistake, even at the opponent's base. And that is what changes, because once you get into the super late game, if you make a mistake in your base, you buy back, you lose again, you lose your towers and you're gone. But normally, if you're pushing into the opponent's towers, you can wipe. I mean, you saw Big God doing that. Big God, they wiped while trying to push into Rave's base. There was nothing that Rave could do out of winning those teamfights because they were too far away, they couldn't take objectives. Now, with Tiny, if you make a mistake, no matter where you make it, you're going to lose a Rux.
Yeah, that's a really good point. We saw that the other day where a team had the Tiny Wisp. It was the Secret Vici match where they had the Tiny Wisp and they want to fight like at their own tier 1. They take a tier 2, they take a full lane of Rax, and they get out before Heroes have even respawned. And that was like at the 20-minute mark.
Yep.
Imagine if Tiny 6 slotted. But Secret giving this away, first of all, they play with Big Daddy a lot. So any of his understanding of the hero, they have that. On top of that, they're very experienced with running the hero. So it's not like giving away the Wisp at TI3 where the Chinese teams maybe didn't respect what Navi and Alliance could do and got punished for it. They know what's coming their way. Secret now will pick up the puck. Really good partner for the Lycan. I hear that Zai has been playing a lot of when it's not in S4's hands, so we'll see. Sometimes they run Arteezy mid on this Lycan, in which case the puck will probably go to the side lanes. Something Zai can play, something S4 can play, and the Axe also pretty flexible, so it makes it a little bit more difficult to determine those
with S4 on the team, I want to still see Zai puck. Is that weird?
He had the one game where he just wrecked.
It was so sick.
I feel like you probably still would rather have S4 on it just because he's got more experience on the hero.
And he has a set in his name. He's
got $1 million coil.
Yeah. You got to sell that set, you know. Got to get that money.
But yeah, Cloud9 has a lot of options right now. Normally they've been trying to choose Bone 7's hero last. That's what they like to do. They like to leave the offlaner. So I wouldn't be surprised here if we see either a mid hero for Fata that answers the pack pretty well, or the other support as well.
Please no Legion Commander.
Well, Nature's Prophet's still there.
Legion
Legion Commander
decent versus Lycan.
It's really good versus Lycan, and generally when you run the Tiny Wisp, you want a hero that sets up the gank. So Axe is a great one. That's already taken by Secret. Puck is as well. Clockwork is something they could turn towards, although he's a bit awkward with the Tiny Wisp. But the issue for the Legion Commander for Bone 7 is he's just never gotten any help, and it seems like every time they run it from in the off lane, he just gets zoned out, shut down, and end of the day, it is one of the more farm-dependent offlaners. If you get nothing out of the offlane, you're going to struggle to come back. So I'm not saying it can't work, but
it's going to be a Misery Bane. This is feeling like a Navi draft almost.
Misery Bane. Those two words combined sound so terrible.
Miserable Bane. It's such an awkward hero, I feel.
It's good against Lycan, though.
Yeah, and Feeble's really good, but you have to get the cast off. And they have so many ways to just cancel out everything from Bane for the most part.
Bane is also a very strong laner. When you put Tiny Wish together in the lane, you're going to have a weak safe lane or a weak mid lane. So having Bane just there is going to secure that the fact that you're having a Wisp is not going to hinder your lanes too much.
You know, looking at their supports, they have 0 D-push. They have Bane and Wisp as their supports against a Lycan opener. Cloud9 better know what they're doing, because they lose a fight or two. All best they can do is split push. But early to mid game, you're not out split pushing a Lycan, even with a Tiny Wisp.
Nope.
This is a very dangerous draft from them. Whereas, like, you look at Secret, they have good push. They also have decent catch late game. So, let's say Cloud9 have a good start.
Right.
They're ratting with the Tiny Wisp. Maybe they've been taking some fights. You can still win from that position as Secret with the Axe and Puck. Really good at catching split pushers and picking them off. Whereas I feel like Cloud9, if they fall behind early, are very limited. Now they go more all in on the Tiny Wisp, but the Magnus backing it up is really good against melee heroes in general.
Yes.
So, super Tiny. If he gets there.
It's another answer to the Lycan. Lycan, even with the BKB, is going to get stunned. If you empower the Lycan, you can keep it away from your allies as well. You have a kind of a way of escaping even with the tether, which is cool. Sorry, not the tether, the Dream Coil, which is pretty good. You're going to be stunned regardless, but that's not going to stop you from charging until the end.
Are there any junglers left for Puppy?
Enigma?
They've already banned
No,
so
it's
many.
banned, yeah.
They banned Enigma, Enchantress, Chenem. I mean, I'm wondering if, because you see the Tiny Wisp, you know they're just going to be looking to farm stacks with one of their supports.
Yeah.
So, generally one thing Secret has been really good about is abusing it. I mean, one option is to actually run the Axe as a 4 position if they feel like they can get away with it.
All right,
Jungle Doom?
Bone 7.
Jungle Nature's Prophet.
They're going to ban a Bone 7
Jungle Storm
here.
Spirit.
Yeah.
Nature's Prophet, Clockwork. Did I say Legion Commander? Legion Commander,
Oh, Bone 7 plays
Nature's
Mag.
Prophet. Plays what?
Bone 7 plays Magnus.
He is not.
Oh, that's right.
He is not going to have a fun lane.
So it's going to be a Fata hero.
I mean, do you really want to run offlane Magnus this game, though?
Well, actually, last time they picked it, he played mid, and Fata.
But who's going to go offlane, though?
Yeah.
I guess you could run the Tiny Wisp Bane safe, or Bane +1 off. Yeah, I don't think you want to put Mag solo offlane. So if they're gonna run it for Bone 7, then maybe they do look to give it to a mid.
They're thinking about the ban. They have 38 seconds left. This is probably the most important pick, or actually ban
of their lives.
Not of their life, but of this pick and ban stage, because everything else was pretty straightforward. They're going to decide to deny Fata the Beast.
So they do ban a Fata hero, which would be in line with the Magnus going to Bone 7.
Yes.
5th ban now for Cloud9, and this comes down to the question of if they think there's any chance of a jungle axe. But they expect it to be a core, so they're going to ban that Ancient Apparition. Let's see what Secret's next pick
You know what's crazy is Puppy could play Lycan.
Yeah,
he's done that.
It's been
here.
ages, but you're right, Shannon. He did used to play the jungle Lycan once in a while. Now, he was much better at jungling from level 1 back then. He needs his levels a bit more now before he goes into the woods.
Yep.
I think more likely if they run something as a 4-position jungler, it would be the Axe.
How do you feel about... I mean, you need AoE stun here. Didn't Secret play Lina this tournament?
They ran the support Lina for Kuroki.
Yes.
It worked really well. It was with S4 Nyx safe lane. So they're running a dual lane Nyx Lina.
It could be a Rubik even.
I'm looking at something that has deep push, because Lina and Leshrac come to mind. Leshrac a little bit more of a fringe pick these days. They banned the AA. They're gonna get the silencer, which cancels the Bane ultimate. That's good.
Well, it's good against relocate in general. But you need levels on this hero. That's the. I'm not a big fan of this hero as support, but
it's also good against the grip. If, like, let's say your
Lycan
like gets gripped in a bad position, you just global. He gets to get out of jail.
That seems to be the main situation, because even with the relocate, like if you see the relocate and you silence, okay, Tiny will not be able to use your combo on you, but they can still hit you and
they can still punch you with their
big
stony hands.
tether you.
You know, he actually doesn't impale anyone with that horn on his head.
5 seconds.
No.
I feel like he could as a last resort.
Oh, Shadow Fiend.
Ooh, okay.
To the end.
How is that?
So it is a Fada here. It's going to be Bone 7 on the Magnus as suggested. And let's see. I imagine the Silencer is a support.
Yes. The lanes are going to be interesting for C9.
Yeah, I think we'll see just Shadow Fiend mid, probably dual lane Tiny with safe lane and Bane
dual
mag
lane,
off.
Bane mag off.
Maybe the Bane roaming a bit.
Yeah. It puts their lanes very static for Cloud9, and maybe that's something that Team Secret can take advantage of as well. Whether they will want to try lane the safe lane or just try to be a little bit more greedy and put a Silencer and Axe is actually a combination of dots that are very, very annoying.
It's really hard for whoever goes off lane against these two, especially because they'll have Howl damage as well.
Yes.
5 seconds. Hurry, hurry!
单的话，如果没有眼是非常难。
30 seconds until Digital Sports. And so it begins. Here, what is any of this for? These are the questions no one was asking. Oh, they're just toying with us now.
Right?
Oh, they're back.
Oh, he didn't notice. Okay. No one knows. That oh so valuable double bounty rune still sitting there waiting. Well, we have a couple seconds here. No action breaking out just yet. Just a bit of enfeeble harassing the mid lane. We'll introduce our two teams. On the dire side, it's going to be Team Secret. S4 going to be on the mid puck. In the off lane, it's going to be Zai playing the off lane Axe, and the safe lane tri lane Puppy on the Vengeful Spirit. We've got Kuroki playing the Silencer, and finally Arteezy on the Lycan. For the Radiant side, it's Team Cloud9. Bone 7 on the off lane Magnus. In the mid lane, Misery going to be doing some harass on the Bane. Supporting Fata on the Shadow Fiend, and in the safe lane it is going to be the Eternal Envy Tiny, supported by the Big Daddy No-Tail Wisp.
Well, looking at the lane progression right now, Axe has a decent amount of last hits from the first wave, 3-0, and you compare that to the Magnus. Magnus has nothing so far from the off lane.
It's where Cloud9 are looking to make up for it elsewhere. They've had the Bane mid lane. Fata is doing fantastic against the park. Look at S4. How often do you see this guy 0-0 for last hits? A minute and a half, 2 minutes into the game. That's with house support as well. Misery has done his job with this level 1 Enfeeble. He is still level 1. He has to transition from here, but as far as the start goes for the mid lane, it's fantastic.
Yeah, this is something that you see teams do very often when they have Shadow Fiend on their team. They want to give him the edge by one support committing the first few minutes to just make sure that the Shadow Fiend gets his soul, and he's just going to proceed to dominate the lane after that. You see this on a support like Skywrath, and obviously Bane will be able to be more annoying with the Enfeeble.
Yeah. Once SF gets those souls, it becomes so difficult for Puck to last hit. All he can really do is maybe look to use his nukes to last hit. He's just doesn't have the damage that matches up to the Shadow Fiend. So early on, a lot of harass down bottom lane. Zai able to put out a lot of damage with an Invis rune. Could be looking to make something happen, but there is full bottle charges onto No-Tail's Wisp, and he's looking to use Envy perhaps as bait here. As the Radiant team did scout this one, Envy just sitting in the middle of a big creep wave, and it seems like he's kind of wary of the Invis rune and hoping that Zai perhaps goes on him.
Yeah, they did indeed see him pick up the Invis rune, so he probably wants to just play a bit safe, but at the same time, like you mentioned, full bottle charges on the Wisp.
Yeah.
Not much of a big deal. X is still going to get a lot more from the offlane than the Magnus here.
Right, already level 4.5 here. This is a fantastic lane for Zai, just having a jewel, and he's trying to come in from behind, but doesn't get off a battle hunger or call or anything to disrupt No-Tail there. As No-Tail has dewarded the pool camp with sentries, but still is yet to respawn, so just some casual body blocks going in from the axe, I imagine, to prevent that from happening. And
yeah, and Zai just placed his observer after he noticed that the Wisp has already finished using up his sentries, but they actually spotted out with their own observer there.
okay, so in comes Misery. At this point, though, they don't have any sentry wards, unless they want to ferry some more out to deal with it, but probably just content with the knowledge of exactly where it is. In the mid lane, SF continuing to crush the puck. 19 last hits, 12 denies to the 4 last hits and single deny for S4. One on lane, they're going to go in looking for a first blood. Avalanche to start things off. There's going to be a toss from Envy. Where's he going to throw this one? But Zai's looking to fight the toss directly up, and Zai wants to call on Big Day No-Tail, but he's kiting this perfectly, but he gets the spin. Needs another great nightmare timing from Misery. And Envy has a toss. He's going to get the first blood. Great start to this game for Cloud9. Really well kited there, and just good execution.
Yeah, it was very good, like, patience from Misery, holding on to the Nightmare as long as possible until he absolutely needed to use it when Big Daddy was in trouble. That was a very good play by Misery, and of course No-Tail as well, when kiting the axe, getting his Wisp balls to do all the damage there.
Well, off of that, I mean, Cloud9, first spot in the bottom lane with Envy farming well, Fata crushing the mid lane. Secret for now are committing to this trial lane at top, but they need to support mid lane. S4's being ganked up, he's got no orb out, the jaunt won't be available, and S4 may just get right-click down, the shockwave gonna miss though, and Bone 7, nice rotation in, hits Zai with the skewer, they're gonna need to hit some more razors here. Fata gets one more, one right-click, not enough, the Magic's healing back up, Kuru's TP'd in, wants Big Daddy No-Tail, and Wisp completely isolated, gonna run into the puck, who he can't bring down on his own, and Fata looks to turn around, has some more razors, throws 1-2 onto Puppey. Great placement coming out from Fata. Needs the right click. Puppey looking for the neutral deny, will not get it, and now Zai in all sorts of trouble. Fata's got himself a... Oh, he's got the Z-Rays. Gonna bring down Zai with one more right click. Another kill to your Shadow Fiend. Double kill for Fata. He is off to the dream start here. A bloody mess in the middle lane, and it's Cloud9 who come out on top.
Yeah, it was great play by Misery again, setting up. It was unfortunate they didn't get the kill on the puck. I really thought they probably should have gotten a kill. It was just a missed shockwave from Bone 7 there. But in the end, they still got off the better trade with Misery yet again with a couple of very good nightmares to set up the fight for his team.
Yeah, Envy meanwhile was farming, as was Arteezy on the safe lane Lycan though, so both carries using the space they were getting, but all supports rotating in, and another kill onto the axe is gonna really hurt Zai's item progression into that Blink Decker.
Just look at the CS of everyone. X, even though with a very good start, still hasn't been able to get too many last hits, but he has the same amount of last hits with the puck, which is something what Misery accomplished by being in the lane for the first 2 minutes, helping the SF just last hit the 2 waves of creeps and resulting into this big disparity in CS.
Yep. Well, Cloud9 now have a lot of good control here. They're securing runes here with the SF able just to push out the lane, Envy getting the bottom rune even. So, both runes being claimed by the Cloud9 team, and right now it looks like Secret are going to rotate their Lycan into the jungle. That's going to give the safe lane to the Silencer to get some XP, get some farm, and try and get that level 6 global silence online as early as possible.
And so far the Wisp is still getting its levels, wants to get to level 6 as soon as possible. There has been no stacks for the Shadow Fiend. Very rarely we see that happen because this early game has been so much movement from the supports of Cloud9. And Big Daddy probably going to start stacking right now for the Shadow Fiend.
It feels like they've got enough out of the early support rotations that they can now sit back and look to play that economy game. They can look to out-farm Secret, get the stacks going, because that's something Secret have done a really good job of, is having stacks in the jungle for the Lycan.
C9 has Shadow Fiend and Tiny and Power. At some point of the game when the Magnus starts to regain his levels, it's going to be the point where C9 is just going to out-farm Secret, I imagine, with the Empower and the Shadow Fiend and Tiny, both heroes with very good creep clear spells. And X at the moment still in the middle lane, not anywhere close to Blink, going to get his level 6 soon. That would be the big difference between him and the offlane Magnus of Cloud9.
Do you feel like it matters too much for Magnus this game? Because it does feel like he can just put the Empower on Tiny, and that's all. That's his main job.
Yeah, he just needs to put Empower this game. I don't think he needs to be that farm compared to the Axe.
Yeah.
The Axe needs to have his Blink Dagger a lot faster than the Magnus in this game.
Well, C9 even pressuring towers now with a double damage rune on Fata. They get in some good hits on this mid-tier 1 tower. Wisp even coming in with the tether heal as well as the overcharge onto Fata, who's just going to tank up the tower, keep the siege creep alive, and Secret, unless you start rotating in heroes, this is going to be an early tier 1 tower and a mid-tier 1 tower at that. Deny comes in, S4 going to deny some much wanted gold from Fata in the mid lane.
This is Fata's first competitive match on Shadow Fiend in nearly, it's almost a year.
I mean, do you get rusty on this here? Is this something where it was their last pick? It may have not been Cloud9's plan from the start, but so far he's looking pretty good.
Yeah, so far everything going very well for Fata. A lot of CS under his belt, top of the net worth thanks to Misery, and going to clear some stacks to increase his lead.
He's got a big lead here, but Arteezy looking to help out his team has snuck his way into the Roshan pit with a medallion treads, level 7 wolves, and
this is very good timing to go, because at this point, if you are on C9, you would expect the Lycan to just move into the jungle and leave the supports to actually farm the lane. You would not expect a Rosh that early by Arteezy.
It's normally like around 10 to 11 minutes perhaps, you would expect this.
He has the medallion, that's why he could have actually do this so early.
Well, bottom lane, while the Roshan's going on, they're going to be a Cloud9 initiation onto Zai's axe, but not enough damage to bring him down. Puppey just TPing in, kind of more scaring off Cloud9 more than anything. And the wave of terror into the Roshan pit, that's going to secure the Aegis for your Lycan. Also gets Arteezy up to level 8.5 now, so gives him a bit of boost to his XP, but more importantly, his farm now catching up to the Tiny as well as Shadow Fiend, who were kind of outlast hitting him and just getting a lot more kills out of the map. Top lane relocate in, they're going to bring down the Silencer, and that's Kuro, who've been kind of taking over the farm in that top lane. So at this point, trying to transition him into at least a semi-carry.
That was a key kill. He was very close to getting his Midas recipe.
Yeah.
It was a very key kill. It would probably slow him down by 1 or 2 minutes. It might not sound much, but in the long run, it will change the game, definitely. It's something that helps the team after the secret team gets that early Roshan.
We haven't seen much Silencer this term. What do you make of this Silencer for Secret and how they're kind of playing it as a kind of more core hero rather than a hard support?
I think like what the panel discussed earlier, it was mainly to break the combination of spells that C9 have. The relocate and the RP, and also the channeling ultimate from the Bane, and here comes Beta with the haste rune, gonna steal the stacks and even take away the Aegis.
Yeah, Arteezy gonna go down once. Do they go for him twice? Oh, this is possibly really bad for Arteezy. He mistimes it though. Oh no. The global silence was there though, so Fata, I guess in theory may have not got the kill anyways, although he did use it way too early. With the haste rune, he wants to chase down Arteezy even further. The second ray is going to miss as Arteezy jukes into the trees, and now possibly a turnaround from Secret. They've lost S4 to start things off though. Envy with a blink dagger goes blinking in, misses the avalanche though. Now he's in too deep. 4 heroes around him, 2 hero battle call from Zai. He wants in, but the skewer into an RP, but no, there's no RP. Bone Sever's not even level 6. Arteezy going to now pop the ultimate. The toss is going to finish him off though. Envy brings down the young prodigy, and Cloud9 going to lose their Magnus in the meantime. Vata looking to throw more razors, hits a few, but not enough damage to bring down the Venge or the Axe. Both just 1 raise away from dying. S4 comes back after dying, gets the orb into a waning rift, and Secret winning this juke fight battle so far, but Avalanche hits 2, followed up by 1 right click. Has a toss in a couple of seconds here. Kuro now in all sorts of trouble. The Shadow Fiend gets thrown forward. There's no mana for a raise, but doesn't matter. C9 get another kill. Arteezy meanwhile getting the kill on the Wisp there with the Wolves. What just happened? That is some serious aggression coming out of C9. This Blink Dagger on Tiny came out of nowhere.
Yeah, Blink Dagger Tiny. That was the key item and key factor of that fight. It allows the Tiny to do what he did in that fight. Very rarely we see the Tiny players actually get the Blink even without... He basically don't even have any transition items like a drum or anything, just a treads and into the Blink. Something that you don't see very often, but it proved to be the right decision in that fight. it definitely helped them win the fight. Even though they missed the Shadowfiend Requiem initially on the edges of the Lycan, but I still think the Blink Dagger from Tiny played a huge part there.
It wasn't a perfectly executed fight. I mean, the Requiem was mistimed. The first Blink Avalanche actually completely missed. It was the second and the third one which were good from Envy, but C9 just with a big item advantage. And, well, another Avalanche toss, going to hit 2. Immediate kill on the Vengeful Spirit. And S4 going to orb. Is he going to go for the jaunt? Does go past, but the race from Vata, perfectly placed and timed. Catches out S4, who's having a miserable game on this puck. Can't really blame him. The laning stage was just so impossible against the Enfeeble, and, well, the damage has been done. Cloud9. You shut down S4, and the game suddenly gets a whole lot easier.
He's their main tempo controller. I mean, the Axe is also a tempo controller, but both of them nowhere near the Blinks right now, and they're going to get another pick off on the Silencer here.
This Blink Dagger is...
This Blink on the Tiny is just proved to be the best decision they made. Oh, swap on Big Daddy Note, they're going to go down again, but it's a good price to pay for the Silencer.
Yeah, it feels like at this point, that's not exactly a huge kill for Secret to be getting. They had to use a shapeshift and everything for it, which is a pretty long cooldown at level 1. So Arteezy will make his way bottom lane, but another 2 minutes roughly before he has another ultimate. So this just opens up even more for C9. They can start pressuring some more towers if they want, go bottom lane or top lane, take a tier 1. And sure, Envy went for this Blink Dagger, but I feel like it's not going to hurt his overall farm. If they can get some stacks going...
It already paid for itself, like for sure.
And you've got Empower to fall back on. You're going to get an Ag Scepter. Sure, it's going to be like an Ag Scepter maybe 5-10 minutes later than you'd normally get it, but he's managed to keep Secret down.
Oh, he's going to find Arteezy here as well.
Oh, and Arteezy may start taking some damage here. If he takes these Ancients, that could be really bad for him.
Where is the... Is he going to bring someone over?
Well, he's got no one with him for the time being.
He can TP towards the top lane and just bring someone over with the relocate for this kill.
It seems Envy's just waiting for Arteezy to get a bit lower on HP. He's going to go in, hits the toss, the Avalanche to follow with the relocate, and Arteezy, no ultimate, brought down. Sama, no mercy today, as he picks himself up a wicked 6 streak. And while his team, they're taking a top tier 1 tower, 5,000 net worth.
He's going to find Zai here as well.
Oh,
that was close. That was close.
C9 now looking to invade the enemy jungle here. They have got smoked up bottom lane, though. It's S4 brought down by the Wiz Tiny in the jungle. There's going to be a Fiend Script coming out onto Puppey. The global silence used, but Puppey and Kuro looking like they're in trouble. Misery still taking it up. Gets swapped kind of to safety here. The TP out going to get cancelled by a skewer. Bone7 says, hello, you're boned today. And Kuro going to go down as well. 4 Secret heroes on the sidelines. 15 kills to 5. Secret just falling apart here in game 1.
It was just really good play from C9 in general. Overall, the game which started with the Misery support going middle to pressure the puck, and the Blink Dagger from the Tiny, the rotations from the supports. It was just very good game sense and gameplay from C9 in general. They understood that they needed to focus on shutting down the puck, and the Axe, both of them are... How close are they to the Blink? Oh, Axe just got his Blink, puck is nowhere near.
I mean, what do you do if you're Secret? You've got this Axe Blink.
Even if they gank with the Axe right now, they need to gank the relocate. I mean, the Wiz and Tiny's lane. Otherwise, there will always be a relocate to build their team out.
The Axe is just not inherently tanky. If he finds someone else and there's a Wiz Tiny relocating in, he maybe kills a Magnus or someone, but he's going to pay for it with his life. Possibly a second hero will pay for it with
Fata
their
even
life.
has like 3.4k gold right now. There's so many selections that he can go for that is really good. Like BKB, Manta for the global silence. Anything that gives him stats and survivability would be a very good item to add to his arsenal right now.
So just tank it up and make it so that you're not going to die into that blink hole.
There's 2 sources of damage from their team, the Tiny and the Shadowfiend, and at this point of the game, they just need to survive the global silence and they're gonna wreck the whole Secret team.
Well, even with the Snuck Aegis, Arteezy and Team Secret unable to get too much done in this game.
This is the main weakness of not having the Chen. Your lanes are compromised when you don't have it, and you run a draft like a Puck and he gets a matchup like Shadowfiend. Puck doesn't do well against Shadowfiend naturally, and you add on the Misery Bane helping the Shadowfiend early on. This is the game that resulted in
relocate. Arteezy's been found. He's going to shapeshift, but it may not be able to get off. The Avalanche toss is there, and Arteezy Gets slam dunked, and Puppy in trouble as well. Here comes S4, but the Dream Coil may save Puppy. Not going to get caught out just yet. It's S4 instead going to go down to the toss. No phase shift available, and he wants Puppy as well. The chase is on. Global Silence comes out, but that's not going to save the Vengeful Spirit. Triple kill for Eternal Envy. He wants more. They're going to go chasing, it looks like. Blink Dagger available soon. Not good. Oh, Envy. Blink Dagger in 1 second. The Avalanche could reach if he can get a bit close enough. And it gets dodged by Kuro. The Blink Call is there as well. Envy going to get pulled into the tier 3 tower. No buybacks available. Otherwise, maybe something you would have considered using to try and ruin Envy's streak. He's on a beyond godlike streak, but he keeps himself alive.
Yeah, he has to be really careful if he's going for all these dives. If the Wisp is not around, he's going to give up a lot of gold when he dies. But at this point, Envy is playing absolutely amazing with his itemization and decision making. Very well done by the captain of the team.
Oh, and with all these kills, all these towers, Bone 7 has enough money for his Blink Dagger. Envy's got enough money for an Ag Scepter. He went for Treads, Drums, Blink Dagger, and...
Here we go. The Ancient stacks with 1 point and power. Ag Scepter already done for the Tiny, so he just needs to collect it, and yeah, they can do it. And this is a huge source of income for the Tiny.
Yeah, he's going to get the Ag Scepter, and this will be like another 1,500, 2,000 gold. He can practically pick up a Hyperstone off of this.
That was really good play by Bone 7 as well. We're removing the trees there along the Ancient, so it's easier to get the stack off going for them. Envy's going to get a huge source of income here. Ag Scepter coming in, and Bone 7's just going to pop up.
Yep.
Pop by, drop the Empower, get the farm done for him.
Secret just trying to get back some map control. D-Ward as much as they can in their own jungle and take out some of this Radiant Vision.
I don't know how can they fight at this point of the game. They're so far behind. Even going for pickoffs is not an option because of relocate.
This is going to be one of the poorest S4s we've ever seen. It just feels like Secret's biggest problem is they don't really have a tempo controller. S4 getting shut down in lane and not having a jungler. They've got a Vengeful Spirit plus Silencer, a support duo they don't often run. With neither of these two heroes able to control the game, S4 getting shut down, there's no real way to fight in the mid game.
Yeah, even in the late game, you could argue Secret cannot fight against C9's lineup.
Yeah. With Tiny with a Magnus. No, I mean, this is without even mentioning. I mean, you got Shadowfeed. All of these heroes.
He went for Skadi. I mean, he could. At this point, he literally could go anything he wants.
Anything, Winter?
Yeah, read. Not Dagon.
I can come up with some creative Shadowfiend builds if you want to try me.
Anything along the lines of the along the lines of a competitive game.
All right. Well, C9 now with that Ancient Stack claim. That gets Envy up to 13,000 net worth. Vater on 12,000.
Relocate.
Oh, it's too late. The relocate still goes up, but he doesn't get the tether. And now, it looks like C9. They push back here. Zai blinks in with a call. They want to bring down the Big Daddy No-Tail Wisp here, but Zai is just too squishy. He's going to be brought down if he's not careful. The toss is not there. One more right click. Vater gets the kill. Envy, meanwhile, gets himself his 11th kill. The Fiend Script going to get dealt with by the Summoned Wolves here. It's a 3-for-1 so far, and Vater kept alive by a fantastic RP. Secret going to lose their whole team at this rate. Arteezy looking to escape. Whispers come back into the fight here. Vater just going to throw a casual Requiem of Souls as S4 is brought back into the trees. He's looking for the TP out. Is there anything to cancel this? Doesn't look like it. Meanwhile, Arteezy Lycan gets found. Envy with another kill. He's up to 4,000 gold. He bought his Ag Scepter 2 minutes ago.
This is more or less already over for Secret. They are too far behind, and they just totally got outplayed by C9 at this point of the game, and their supports are just way too behind. Venge and Silencer, you need to be ahead. When you're behind, you don't really offer much for your team apart from the long cooldown as a Silencer. They're gonna get a pick off on Big Daddy here.
Got to tether in 1 second. Who can he tether to? There's a mid creep wave, but it's out of range, it seems. Zai gets like the chop.
That's like just a minor consolation prize they get after losing so much and a buyback from the puck. Man, is he even going to get his blink at some point?
Who would have thought we would ever see a game where S4 at 21 minutes in on a puck doesn't have Blink Dagger?
Who would have thought, indeed. A lot of surprises in this tournament.
And we saw the Bane pick earlier by Na'Vi in the tournament, and it looked like just a train wreck. The pick didn't work out at all. It got hard counted. This time around, though, we see a Bane pick with a much clearer plan as far as dominating the laning stage, shutting down S4. And Misery since then hasn't... he got 1 or 2 kills on the Axe, but since then he hasn't done too much.
There we go.
Lycan Wolves are there. They're going to immediately scout the smoke here. Secret, this is maybe the play. They're not going to go in. The Lycan Wolves have been seen by the Sentry Wards, and Fata going to look to bring them down. Envy blinks in, Avalanche catches out too. There's a relocate as well. Whisk could be the first target though. He kind of relocates into 3 heroes. The Artesian is just going to get right click down. S4 goes in with a Raining Rift, the global silence time with it, and Kuro on the high ground manages to help bring down the Wisp here, but the shockwave from Magnus shreds him apart, and Tiny now gets another for his trophy collection, and well, this Tiny's just out of control. S4 gets gripped, and I wouldn't be surprised just to see a GG call at this point. No racks have been claimed, but this game 1 is just out of control.
Yeah, I don't think they can even come back anymore. It's more or less they're just probably talking about what went wrong in the game, and they just want to focus on the next game. Like sometimes it's even better to maybe conserve energy, but it's a big event, so I wouldn't be surprised if Secret just stays on, tries to fight one more time. Hopefully if they actually get a win, like maybe C9 overextends, gives up a couple of kills, then you are back into the game.
What you mentioned, like they're thinking about discussing what went wrong. What do you feel like did go wrong? Was it a purely drafting? Was it just execution? What could Secret have done with this draft, or was it just a lost cause?
I think the one thing they could have done was maybe send one of the supports to help the puck during the first few waves, like the first 2 minutes when the Bane was actually being a pest towards the puck. I'm not sure if that would actually solve the issue, because I think the Bane could have still dropped an Enfeeble and the puck couldn't last it, and it doesn't matter if the Wrench or the Silencer came over to help, the puck would still be in the same hole that he was in the game. So the other thing would probably be a smoke gang to try and get the Shadowfiend. I'm really not too sure, but those 2 options doesn't seem like it's going to be a guaranteed way that Secret could have solved their problems. It's just like an option there.
Yeah. The Bane pick, I feel like, out of this entire C9 draft, that Bane pick was the X factor. That's something which Secret, in their pre-game discussion amongst the team about what they're going to pick, what picks they have to be worried about, like they were willing to give C9 the Wisp. They were at no point, I imagine, discussing the threat of a Bane pick. Yeah, that is just not something that would have even come up.
This is also one of the few games that they have the puck on the middle lane instead of the safe lane, and this type of scenario happened to them. It wouldn't have happened if the puck is a safe lane and the Lycan or Shadowfiend. They usually run RTZ mid, Lycan or Shadowfiend.
Do you feel like they put the Lycan in the safe lane just because of the last pick Shadowfiend as well?
Yeah, they couldn't lane the Lycan against the Shadowfiend, so this was the biggest problem. Another relocate comes in.
Zai, he just blinked back, and the Avalanche toss is going to be, well, should be enough to finish him off. The toss forward, and Zai brought down with ease.
This is getting really ugly.
Oh, they want to try and catch out this Wisp. It looks like they know where he's coming. Envy's going to come back in with him. Envy cannot afford to die himself. Global Silence is going to be used. They kill the Wisp to start things off. Envy just cleaving off of the Ancients. Almost kills off the puck. One more cleave. He does it through the Ancients. What a play. He's got Aegis as well. He's not even worried about dying here. The Wolf is cancelling his Blink Dagger, unfortunately. But he doesn't care. It's Fata with a beyond godlike streak as well.
They have 2 heroes. I think that's the first time in a lot of tournaments.
10-0 Shadowfiend.
You have 2 heroes beyond godlike on the same team.
Against one of the best teams in the tournament as well. This is not like you're versing some throwaway team.
Yeah, it's. I just feel like the laning phase were just too weak for Secret. Like they couldn't put the Lycan mid. They had to put the Puck mid against the Shadowfiend, and Puck against Shadowfiend, even without the Bane helping, it's already a very tough matchup for him. And Bane just disrupted so much that it was just impossible for the Puck to last it. Like and Puck, like I said, and it's gonna end the game without even have a blink. Oh my god, this is super ugly.
MB finds one more. Puppy throws in the towel. GG is called, and this
game was just
is the most one-sided defeat we've seen for Secret. We haven't seen them lose very often, but this is a loss with a big message. This is Cloud9 saying, this is a series. You guys are going to have to show up and do something different to beat us.
The adjustment that C9 made was very good this game with the last pick Shadowfiend.